Hey guys, so I'm here today with my very first Halloween tutorial this year. I hope you guys like it. I wanted to do something that was kind of creative but simple at the same time. I just get kind of carried away when, you kind of start doing these sort of things and then you just kind of get, like I said, carried away. So these looks are a lot of trial and error, so you'll see kind of like me telling you how to kind of fix your mistakes as you go along. So if you guys want to see how I got this broken pumpkin face, half pumpkin face, whatever you want to call it, just keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start with the base, the orange base. I tried to use just concealer, but I couldn't get enough product out of that. So I went in with a foundation. I'll show it to you in just a second. And then I scraped out a bunch of this orange eyeshadow from the Morphe 350 palette. And this is the foundation I used. And I just mixed it together on a little palette thingy and gave me a little bit of face paint, So if you're in a pinch and you need some face paint, this is a neat little trick. And I just put it roughly in the area I was going to be doing the pumpkin look, and then I took off all of my eye makeup from that side. Obviously I wasn't going to need it. And then I went in with this Kylie liquid lipstick in 22. I liked how it gave me an orange, but it was like a red orange, so it gave me a little bit more of a contrast from the like more peachy orange that I had going on. So you just kind of roughly map out where you want all the lines. I personally wouldn't have put them as close together in the center of my face, like where my nose and stuff was, but I don't know, I did it kind of like a nose contour. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so I went in with a smaller brush and just roughly mapped out where all of the little cracks were going to be. And now I'm doing the triangle on my eye. I went in with a liquid liner first just to kind of get a general, little shape. But I should have glued down my eyebrows because I was, kind of worried about covering them up. And yeah, that would have helped me a lot for my triangle not to look so much like a house, but it's okay. It came out just fine. But I ended up going in with a gel liner to fill it all in, and then I cleaned it up with a little bit of the foundation alone. I didn't mix any of the orange with it. I liked how it gave me kind of a little bit of a highlighted effect around the triangle where I cleaned it up. And then I went in with a matte black eyeshadow to set down the black. And now I picked up a skinnier brush and I'm going to be putting black lines down the center of all of the like red orange little lines that I made earlier. So a lot of this is going to be a lot of back and forth to create a little bit more depth and highlight in all of the lines, the black lines and the orange spaces in between. So then I ended up going in with these two like kind of glittery shimmery colors. I used the orangey one and then the gold one. The gold one was a little too vibrant, as you can see up here on top of the black. It pretty much covered up the black, so I'll fix that later. But I ended up just using the orangey shimmer shade all inside of the orange spaces to give it just more of a cool look. So I'm just applying the black and then blending it out. And if you get any like lines that are too close together, just go ahead and go in with that brush that you used to clean up the triangle earlier and just kind of apply a little bit of foundation and clean it up. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all of the black lines, smudge them out, and then I'm going to move on to the mouth. I did a very traditional pumpkin like mouth, so I just created teeth. Like I would start with the top row and then the bottom row I just did it opposite of where the teeth on the top row were, and then I added a little bit of a grin. And now I'm going in with a kind of dense fluffy brush and picking up some browns and just going between all of the orange and the black just to create a little bit more depth and make the pumpkin look a little bit more like worn and kind of, you know, dirty a little bit, I guess. And then I'm going to even out my skin tone on the kind of normal side, put on some concealer and some powder. And then I also ended up using some of my Chocolate Soleil bronzer to give me a little bit of color. And then I'm going to go in the Morphe 350 palette. I basically use this palette for the entire look. And I'm just going to make my eye look a little bit more dramatic. So I just kind of went with the same tones as the pumpkin, like orange tones. And then I picked up a darker brown and just gave myself a little bit more depth on the outer corner. And picking up a little bit more of the concealer, I ended up also making the line with the liquid liner of the cracked lines. I just kind of went around where I already had the orange, and then anywhere that I needed to fill in, I just went between like bigger brush and tiny brush to fill in all of the spaces that I needed to. And then for the cracked lines, I mean, honestly, the messier the better. So there's no rhyme or reason to this. The only thing that I would like to point out is these little black like triangles. It gives it the effect that like it's like a hole right there, or some of the pumpkin piece like fell out, and then you just make skinnier lines to make it look like it's just cracked. So it honestly, it's just your preference. It really begins to stand out when you go in with some brown shadow to shade the edges, as you'll see in one of the next clips. So yeah, like I said, it's all your preference. Make it as skinny or as dark as you want. The more random it is, the more kind of realistic it looks. So yeah, I ended up getting a little pencil brush and just picking up like any brown shades and then really blending it out. Don't make it too dark, but also don't make it too light. Make sure it's nicely blended all throughout the like orange part right there of the little border of the crack. And then I went back to the normal side and just focused on my lower lash line. I just made it kind of messy and like dragged it down a little bit more than I usually would, made it a little more dramatic. And then I think I also added some more orange on the upper part. It's just your preference, whatever eye look you want to do. And then I went in with this highlight and just highlighted where I normally would, even on the pumpkin, just to add a little bit more, you know, like little specialness to it, I guess. And then I ended up getting a little bit more of some brown shadow with a pencil brush to make my eyebrows a little darker, a little bit more dramatic as well. I went in with that orange glittery shade that I used like throughout this whole entire tutorial, but it was kind of like no point just because it kind of rubbed off on top of the gel liner. I don't know why, maybe because I said it already. I mean, it added like a tiny bit of glitter, but that was it. But yeah, that's the entire tutorial. I hope you guys liked it and stay tuned for another one really soon. Bye.